A blessed day, blessed morning to everyone, those who are joining us in this worship here at the Shrine of Jesus, the Divine Word. We've been reading from the book of Samuel in the Old Testament in the past days. And we have seen the story of how the people of Israel started to have their king as rulers. And in the past readings, we have seen how God reluctantly gave them king. And He warned them against having their king because it meant also that they were rejecting God as king. The King of Israel is indeed the Lord, but they rejected and they insisted on having their own king. And we see that the Word of God has been fulfilled. Also, later, the warnings of God against having these kings were fulfilled already in the time of Saul, or time of Samuel rather. In today's first reading, we find a report of the tragic death of their first king, Saul, and his successor, his son, Jonathan, in the hands of their fierce and feared enemies, the Philistines. With the death of Saul, who had been chosen and consecrated to liberate Israel from their enemies, it signaled a new chapter also in their history. In the part of the first reading today is the tribute of David to Saul and Jonathan. Through his mourning, we find the greatness also expressed here of David. Even if he was persecuted and hunted by Saul, out of jealousy probably, David did not get even, but rather respected him until the end as the anointed king of Israel by God. David rendered to Saul and Jonathan a tribute as heroes. Saul, the father, symbol of power and splendor, while the son, Jonathan, a very close friend of David, whom he loved as brother, as a friend. This biblical story, interwoven with sinister plots and struggles for power, is colored and transfigured by this endearing and nostalgic song of love. A song, a tribute, a lament of David we find in this chapter 1 of the second book of Samuel. Truly, the word of God resounds with all the accents of human words. The story of friendship and brotherhood of David and Jonathan is one of the moving stories in this book, and in fact, in the whole Bible. Jonathan saved David from the murderous scheme of his father Saul. David looked after Jonathan's children after he was killed. Great friends do these kinds of things for each other. Later on, Jesus, in the Gospel of John, used this beautiful image of friends to describe the kind of relationship that we should cultivate or that we have with Him to express this greatest and highest form of love. And He said in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 13, there is no greater love than that of someone who is willing to die for a friend. And Jesus fulfilled this, being a true friend for humanity, who gave His life for us, His friends. Indeed, He has called us friends, and He has, as He has said, revealed the secrets of the kingdom. Probably, we won't be called to give up our life for our friends, but a big part of friendship is putting our friends' need before our own. And Jesus, in the gospel today, we find, because of His zealousness in service, that they say, the gospel says, that He did not even have time to eat, serving others, serving His people, His friends. And His family thought that He was already out of His mind. I think someone who is a true friend is like Jesus, who knows what is best for his friends, put the needs of his friends before his own. I know that we have, it's a comforting experience to have true friends who really are in after our good, and we need to care for them, for our friends. Friendship that is based especially on real concern and care, not only in good times, but even in bad times. But a friend who would stand and who would protect us from evil, and even someone who can tell us frankly that we are wrong, who can reprimand us because out of love, that person wants us to be good. Again, our true friend and ultimate friend is Jesus. May we come to appreciate Him more and listen to His words to guide us. Amen.